The OG Razer Blade Stealth's middling battery life, 8 gigs of RAM with no option to upgrade, and dual core processor made it neither a serious productivity device for road warriors nor a legitimately capable gaming machine like its thicker and less stealthy 14-inch cousin, even with an outboard graphics card. But that's all different now. Literally all of it. The Blade Stealth late 2017 stomps all over its predecessors. So let's take a look at it. World of Tanks is the free-to-play online game that throws players into epic tank battles across different battlefields. And we've got a special deal for you guys below, and more info coming later in the video. Externally, the 13.3-inch Blade Stealth pretty much hasn't changed in the last couple of years. And that's a good thing, because you might disagree, but I think the industrial design is damn near perfect. The top is classic Razer with an illuminated logo and armored accent bumps. The bottom is lifted a little higher at the back on rubber feet for a slight angle to the keyboard and to give the single intake fan access to fresh air. And the side profile is pretty much as thin as it could be, while still allowing Razer to cram in what is fairly generous I/O for a thin and light these days. 2 full-size USB 3 ports, HDMI 2.0, an audio jack, and a Type-C Thunderbolt 3 port that also charges the device. And the whole thing has a sturdiness to it that's been very refreshing compared to the Gram that I've been using since early this year. It is heavier, yes, and the battery life is much worse unless you're willing to cart around an extra battery bank with you. But in power saving mode, it still comfortably lasts me over 5 hours of actual use, and I also expect it to hold up to the rigors of my grueling travel schedule a little bit better than the Gram has. Flipping it open then, there's still not much to dislike. It's 2017, the bezels could be a little bit thinner, and the power button is still really mushy for a company whose first product was a mouse. But the 3200 by 1800 100% sRGB display, while not shockingly bright, is a solid performer and includes a touchscreen, something that I rarely notice myself using, but that drives me crazy when I'm on something that doesn't have one. And the keyboard, speakers, and trackpad are somewhere between very good and excellent for a device of this class, with the keyboard in particular standing out to me because it blows me away that the same company that put such an excellent low-profile keyboard on a thin and light put such an abomination on their desktop replacement 17-inch model. Let's talk gaming. The Stealth is not really for gaming, but thanks to some under-the-hood upgrades, there are a lot of ways to game on it. Emulators, older AAA titles, and modern esports titles like Rocket League and Dota 2 will run directly off the onboard Intel graphics at usable frame rates as long as you lower the resolution. The onboard Killer Wireless consistently saw transfer speeds of 40 megabytes per second or more on a high-end AC access point, so if you have a gaming PC elsewhere in the house, Steam in-home streaming works at very high quality settings fantastically, or you could even use it remotely with software like Parsec on a fast, low latency internet connection. And with the addition of an external GPU, the Blade Stealth transforms from ultrabook to ultra high-end gaming system. I was floored when I saw the CPU turbo boosting to those clock speeds in games. I mean, yes, we're still giving up some FPS compared to a desktop running that same Titan XP graphics card with a high-end quad-core or 6-core desktop chip. And Thunderbolt's protocol overhead and narrower PCIe 4X connection aren't helping matters. But these are still really impressive results, and, sorry Razer, both the performance bottlenecking and the price gap actually close significantly if you're willing to explore third-party eGPU enclosures that forego some of the Core V2's creature comforts, like easy upgradability and built-in Ethernet. And thanks to the 16 gigs of soldered RAM, I found it useful for more than just gaming. even with just the onboard graphics. For editing and rendering simple videos, Intel's 8th generation U-series processors put their previous generation efforts to shame. I would still equip a skilled video editor with something that can run higher than about 2.2 gigahertz with all the cores slammed, but throwing together this video in Premiere in the back seat of my car on the way to visit my grandparents was very doable on the Blade Stealth. It's still a Blade, so it was sitting between 10 to 15% CPU usage, thanks Chrome, while I was typing up this review, and it was a little warm to the touch, but it stays really quiet, even under full load. Now we need to talk about money. Gone is the starting at $999 pricing that made the original Blade Stealth so attractive. But while it is pricier than that, it's still in line with or better than devices of similar spec and build quality like Dell's XPS 13. So that's not something that I'm gonna give Razer too much flack about. I will save my flack for the battery. It is the worst thing about this device. But as I've said before, it's still very usable. So I think of the Blade Stealth as kind of like a sporty two-seater. The fuel economy sucks compared to something more practical like the Gram. But it's got other things going for it, and I really, really like it. And I will be switching to the Blade Stealth full time. Wargaming is sponsoring this video to tell you guys to go check out World of Tanks. It's the free-to-play online game that if you've been living under a rock for the last few years, you might not have heard of, but it's all about breathtaking tank battles across epic battlefields. It's set in the mid-20th century, and World of Tanks gives you access to an impressive roster of over 450 authentic tanks, from steel brawlers to light and fast scouts. And there are RPG elements to the game where you can research upgrades and modifications to enhance your tank's performance on the battlefield. For new players, they're recommending to try out the RUIS-3, a close-range brawler, or the UST-29, which has a powerful turret and quick maneuverability, and you can join over 150 million players worldwide and make a name for yourself on the battlefield. They're offering you guys 3 days of premium time, 500 gold, and a premium tank by using code WWIITanks. And this is for new players only, and you'll find that at the link in the video description. So thanks for watching, guys. If this video sucked, you know what to do. But if it was awesome, get subscribed, hit that like button, or check out the link to where to buy the stuff we featured in the video description. Also down there is our merch store, which has cool shirts like this one, and our community forum, which you should totally join.